Hey everyone, it's Mr. Neeson. I am in my home studio making a video for you guys today about a really great music education, music technology tool that we can use while we're away for however long that ends up being. This is a video on Soundtrap, and Soundtrap is an online digital audio workstation. So it's kind of like Logic or GarageBand or Ableton or Pro Tools. It is an online web-based music making software suite. And so to use it, you're going to use grab the code that I posted with this video. You're going to go to soundtrap.com/edu, and you're going to join as a student. Enter the code, and then sign in with your BVSU email address. Sign in with your BVSU username and password, just like you would for Google Docs or anything else. So once you've done that, you're going to see this page. Mine looks a little different because I've gone on the teacher side, but the main thing we're concerned about is where you see Enter Studio. That's what you're going to do to create a new session. You hit Enter Studio, and then this window pops up. Just like in Logic, it lets you create what kind of project you're using. I'm going to make music. And then your loops are up here in this little library here. Just like in Logic, they're on the right-hand side of the window. Your tracks are all over here on the left. And the only kind of different thing in terms of layout is where your tempo and your record and your transport controls are, like forward, back, stop, start. Those are down at the bottom here. So just like in our Logic sessions, with our looping and our sampling and our beat making, I like to start with some percussion. I like to start with some drums. I have a loop that I found earlier that I really like, so I'm going to search for that. And you can search by type, you can search by instrument, you can search by genre, just like with Logic. Our loop library works in a very similar way. So I found a Latin groove that I really liked earlier. Let's see if I can find it. Latin bounce, that was the one. So I like that. I'm going to drag that into my project here. And just like in Logic and GarageBand, when you drag a loop into your project, it creates a new track for that loop. My cats are yelling at each other. So each new piece goes in its own track. I don't need either of those. But it works the same way. So you drag a loop in, it creates a track for it. So let's listen to this loop that I have here, this Latin bounce. I like that. So I think it's a little too fast. So in Logic, when we want to change our tempo, it's up at the top of the page. In Soundtrap, it's down here at the bottom. So we click on that. I'd like it maybe 194. And again, the higher the number, the faster the steady pulse, the faster the click. So if I type in 94, you can hear the tempo in the background. That's something I really like about this. So I confirm, adjust, and now it's a little slower, a little more laid back. It's same rhythm, same instruments. It's just got, I think, a better feel for the song that I have in mind. So that is how you drag a loop in and adjust your tempo. Your loop library is over here. You can close that out by clicking on the little music note. You drag it in, you adjust your tempo, and then you're ready to go. You can also add sound, just like in any audio workstation. They can generate sound, they can capture sound, and they can manipulate sound. So we're going to capture some sound now. So I've got my microphone hooked up here. I've got mine hooked up to my home studio. I've got more of a higher end microphone that I'm using. This will work with your Chromebook, with your phone, with your tablet. It will work with whatever built-in mic is on the device that you're using. But just for the sake of sound quality and having the tools available, I'm going to use my studio mic. So I've got my piano set up here. I've got a speaker set up in the back. So I'm just going to move the mic, sorry about the noise, and record a little piano part. track, microphone, and then I just check the volume here. Click on this little icon, start test. And then I'm ready to go. So I'm going to record a piano part for this song that I have here. And to do that, I hit start recording. I make sure my metronome is on. It's going to count me in, and then I'm going to record my part. So yeah, that was a good take. Turn that off so it's not doing the reverb anymore. And in Soundtrap, if you hover over the top, just like in Logic and GarageBand, you can loop it by hovering over the top half of the clip, or on the bottom half of the clip, you can adjust the ending. My track kept recording for a beat or two after I stopped, so I just want to fix that. So I drag that back in, I loop it out, and let's hear what we have. I'm going to do the same thing right now with some guitar. So I've got just an acoustic guitar here, using the microphone again. Here we go. So we add a track, set whatever our source is. In this case, I'm using the microphone. Enable recording, and then start. Counts me in. So I didn't love how that came out, so I'm gonna hit return, and if I record again, it's just gonna replace what I have here. Too early. Back, loop it, and listen. Good, so that's a good loop, that's a good take. So the last thing I want to show you now is how to use the software instruments. One thing I really, really like about Soundtrap is that it has very robust and very powerful built-in synthesizers, software instruments, just like Logic does. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a new track, and this time we're going to add a synthesizer. So you can hear that's the default patch. But you can, if you click on the instrument name, you can go through and have different types of synthesizers. So leads are more melody sounds. Not quite what I'm looking for this one. I want something more kind of, tropical, Caribbean sort of sounding. So I'm going to find myself a kalimba, which is a patch that I found earlier that I like. So that's a nice kind of plucky sort of sound. So you have all kinds of, you have different synthesizers, strings, brass, drums, etc. So you can play these in using either a MIDI controller if you have one, like my keyboard here that's hooked up to my computer, or you can use the keyboard on your Chromebook or your laptop or whatever you have here. So you can see on the bottom, each key is assigned to a different note on the physical keyboard. So I'm going to use my MIDI controller here because I have one and it's easier for me. But whatever you have available to you, you can make this work. So I'm going to record a little melody. Just like before, didn't quite like that take, so I'm going to just hit record again, and it's going to record over what I just did. Just undo. I'm just going to delete this part here and record it again. So let's give that a listen. So it's that easy. So just to kind of recap what I did. We enter the studio. We create a music project instead of a podcast. Our loops are over here on the right-hand side, just like in Logic. We drag and drop. I used a microphone to record some piano and some guitar. And then I used the built-in software instruments to add my melody, my kalimba, my synthesizer, and so on. I think this is a really, really powerful tool. I think it's a great piece of software that we have now available to us because of a lot of the school closures around the country and around the world. The company that makes this software is offering it free to educators and students for the remainder of the school year. So I'm very, very happy to be able to kind of play around with it and share it with you all. I hope you are all taking care of yourselves, taking care of each other. Be well, stay healthy, keep in touch. Bye.